the Smiley J Artist Zone, a platform for and about independent artists, music, interviews, and much, much more. Now, welcome your host, Smiley J.
Greetings, and welcome everyone to the Smiley J Artist Zone show. This is a fun place and a safe space for independent artists. I am your host, Smiley J, and I hope that you guys out there are doing well. I hope everyone had a nice week so far anyway. And I hope that you have been listening to good music. And I also hope that you have some independent artists in your playlist, which, by the way, I know that you do because I have a very smart and intelligent listening audience. Speaking of listening audience, let me go ahead and send a shout out to my listeners over in the UK. What's up, y'all? How y'all doing? Shout out to Nigeria and Jamaica and Canada, and of course the USA. Now I have a great show for you guys today. I have a band called Crank LuKongo. And they are a musical movement, and they're going to be chatting up with me in a few short minutes over in the Artist Zone. So make sure y'all don't move. I don't want you to miss that conversation, or I don't want y'all to miss that groove that they're going to bring us. Now y'all know I love music. Growing up, I listened to a lot of different music. I listened to R&B, Motown. I listened to some blues, funk, country, some pop, hip-hop. I even listened to a little rock. But growing up in Washington, D.C., we kind of had our own music scene going. You know, we had our own music genre. We had our own music called go-go music. You know what? On that note, let's go ahead and segue right over into Smiley's info segment. I want to give my listeners a little background history on go-go music. Now, go-go music is a popular music subgenre associated with funk. It originated right here in Washington, D.C. during the late 60s and early 70s. Now, the origins of go-go music has been debated. But all of D.C., Maryland, and Virginia knows for sure that the late, great Chuck Brown, who, by the way, he was a guitarist and band leader for his band, Chuck Brown and the Soul Searchers. The late, great Chuck Brown, he was one of the fundamental forces behind go-go music, which earned him the official title of Godfather of Go-Go. Yeah, so earlier this year, D.C.'s mayor signed into legislation where she made go-go music the official music of D.C. Now, guys, I'm going to tell you, for me, go-go music was definitely a huge part of my life. Yes, I remember being a young teenager and going to go-go's and partying and doing the happy feet and sweating out my cute curls and missing curfew by about 2 hours. Yes, I did that. I'm not happy about that, but it happened. Because you know what? When you're at a go-go, it is such an experience, that vibration, music vibration, and you're dancing and you're just in the zone and you lose all track of time. So that's what happened to me, y'all. And a lot of other folks out there, too. So, to my listeners, if you want to get a closer look into the DC go-go scene, there's a lot of content on YouTube. Just type in go-go music, Washington, D.C., and you'll see all kind of you'll see all kind of videos. So, but listen, make sure y'all do that after the Smiley J show, okay? I don't want y'all to move. So let me go ahead and introduce today's guest. As I mentioned earlier, Crank LuKongo, they're a musical movement. Crank LuKongo is an African world beat musical collection akin to a DC go-go rhythmic foundation infused with the elements of progressive soul, jazz, reggae, blues, rock, Afrobeat, folk, funk, and hip-hop. So you get all that music entwined into one funky sound, and if you listen closely while you two-stepping and dancing, you also get educated if you pay attention to the lyrics. Yeah, these brothers are educating you while bringing you good sounds. So you know how we do it here on the Smiley J Show? We bring all our guests in, we give them love and good energy. So I need you to stop what you're doing. Now, if you drive and keep your hands on the wheel, okay? Just nod your head. But to everyone else, I want you to put your hands together. I want you to give me some soul claps or some traditional hand claps. And welcome today's guest, Crank LuKongo. Hey guys, with me today I have Crank LuKongo. I have with me, first of all, hey guys, how y'all doing today?
Hey, Smiley.
Doing great.
Fine.
Good. Let me just tell you guys, my listeners, who I have with me. I have Matt Miller, a.k.a. Swamp Guinea, Hambone.
Hey. Yeah. She got all the nicknames. That's what I'm talking about.
That's right. I do my homework. Also, we got Mr. David Blackwell, a.k.a. Hootie, a.k.a. Darius Rucker.
Let me just, that's the first time I've heard that.
You know what? Let me just say to my younger listeners out there who may not know, Hootie and the Blowfish, Darius Rucker was the lead singer. He is now a country superstar. So, and Dave he reminds me a lot of Darius. Not necessarily looks, but I kind of got that same little swag a little bit.
Okay, I'll take that. Matt didn't tell you my other nickname is Do It Well.
Do it well.
Wait a minute.
That's right.
You know what? I ain't gonna touch that. Okay, so look. The ladies might call in about that. Now I'll just give them your email and all that stuff. So let me just say out the gate that I love how you guys kind of created your own lane, like a subgenre of go-go. Is right. That pretty accurate?
Yeah, a subgenre is basically, or you could say it's a go-go hybrid. It's a hybrid.
Okay.
So it definitely has the foundation of DC go-go music rhythmically, but it's a hybrid because there's other musical elements that have been added that you don't really typically ever really hear in go-go proper. So subgenre because go-go does have several different subgenres, believe it or not.
Yes.
And so our brand of music is we don't necessarily call it go-go. We call it Afro go-go roots.
Okay.
Because it does have its own lane. And with respect to go-go, we just decided to just kind of be who we are and do what we do and represent that. And so, that's what that is.
Well, I love it. And, also your music is very conscious and positive, having a message both that inspires and educate listeners. So I got to ask you, with so much unconscious music out there saturating our airways, was that your intent to use lyrical content that creates consciousness and social awareness and, all that good stuff?
Dave?
Well, yeah, that's, for me as a songwriter, that's just something that's been my lane all along.
Anyway.
Since I've been writing songs. Exactly. So, and that stems from just growing up listening to, we all listen to the music that our parents listened to. Mm-hmm. Stevie Wonder, Earth, Wind and Fire, all those bands and musicians, they always had a conscious message. I mean, aside from the love songs, it was always like some social content, something dealing with society at the time. So that's how I grew up. And I think that's how a lot of us coming up in the 70s and 80s grew up, just sort of listening and having that music in the background. I didn't really know what they were talking about, but having it there. So you grow up with that. So that same consciousness is sort of like how, when I got into music, that's kind of like where I was coming from. That was kind of like I was raised that way. And that's kind of like how I wanted to continue to express things. And so it's not I think a lot of musicians do music because they're moved by the sounds and the rhythms. But a lot of times they just want to say what everybody else is saying. You know what I mean? And I think where Crank LuKongo is special is that we're paying homage to go-go, because that's what we grew up on and that's what we love. But we're also introducing the songwriting element to that. So we're not doing covers or anything, but we do covers, but we want to introduce songwriting in a more consistent way to the music, and hopefully that will. I'm sorry, go ahead, Matt.
Yeah. No, I was just going to add to that by saying, because we do want to maintain our commitment to the universe. We want to maintain our commitment to the communities that we live in, the communities that we serve, and knowing that there is a greater need for enlightenment, spiritual nourishment. We just feel like through music, we have the platform, we have the power to address those things. And, so just like what Dave was saying, we've always in other, musical, projects that we've been in, that's always been at the forefront, the message. It just so happens that when it came time to conceive Crank LuKongo, we automatically knew that coming into this, what was going to come out of it was us being able to continuing to convey the message for, social activism, just cultural pride, and just spiritual enlightenment. And so we're able to put that out there through our music.
And you know what? And that's what's up. And I want to applaud you guys for doing that and being conscious in your writing, because, I'm a Washingtonian. I grew up with go-go, and I'm going to just keep it kind of light. But, the go-go is go-go, but, as a woman, it feels kind of weird. Not just go-go, any music feels kind of weird trying to groove to a song that's not, celebrating me. So just thought I'd throw that in. So I like what you guys are doing.
Good point.
So I gotta ask you, what's behind the name Crank LuKongo?
Well, crank is in go-go culture. Crank is a staple word that is used to describe, the energy or the synergy that exists between the players of the instruments and the listeners, the audience. Crank it serves as a generator. It's a force. So, when it's a way of people really being able to engage and respond to the elevation of the energy in your music. So you say, oh man, I went to go see Smiley J, man. She was cranking, so that's a word that we use to describe that.
No, thank you for that, because I have listeners that are not necessarily from the Washington, D.C. area. So thank you for the education, but continue.
And LuKongo is it's a Kikongo word, in the Kikongo language from the Bantu people of the Congo. That word means liberty. And where we got that from was, in and around the year 1739, 1740, in South Carolina, there were many different African slaves there, but they were there coming from different regions of West Africa, so they didn't all speak the same language. Some spoke Wolof, Fulani, Bantu, Angola, Yoruba, Igbo, whatever. So they didn't all speak the same language, and so there was a language barrier there, even with those Africans, and so there was a word that was taught to all of the slaves pretty much by one of the slaves who was a Bantu. And the word was Kikongo, which meant liberty or freedom. So whenever that word would get out, then that was a signal or a sign to now today is the day, or this is the time for insurrection, or to basically liberate. And so I really like that word because it truly represents it represents the reform that's needed with my people here in Washington, D.C., in the nation's capital. And we're speaking in particularly of and for the natives and the indigenous. So when I say native and the indigenous, I'm talking about us African Americans that have been here for generations in the nation's capital, and just kind of seeing how things have kind of shifted with us here, and in addition to the indigenous community. When I say indigenous community, of course, I mean the Native American community that have pretty much been here since the very beginning, and then they got displaced as well. So, just being able to speak on behalf of us and us and them, and to really speak on us being able to keep our heads to the sky, and to liberate ourselves. And so Crank LuKongo is really, it's just a great way to describe all of that. And, we couldn't have picked a better name for this unit.
You're absolutely right. I must agree. And we're going to talk about, one of your songs kind of that talks about that, the Ghost of Anacostia. But before we do that, I want to go to Dave. Dave, you are a songwriter and also a musician.
Lord. He does it well.
I hear he does,
he does it well.
Okay. I'm glad this is audio and not visual. So David, tell the listeners your, what instruments do you play? Your instrument of choice Well,
I started out playing bass. My father and my uncles, they had a gospel group, and so their instruments always around, and bass was always in the house, and my pops played the bass. That was the first thing I picked up, and I think that's my home instrument. It's kind of like where I'm most comfortable. But I also play guitar, sprinkle the keys a little bit, and a slew of percussion instruments. I play drums, but nothing like my man Swamp.
Swamp is a beat. He make you want to just break out and do the African dance. So
exactly.
But Dave, you also sing because you're the voice on After the Revolution, which by the way I'll be playing later on in the show. And I just love that song, and all that you bring to it as well. Hootie, I mean.
Well, thank you so much.
Yeah, absolutely. Now I gotta point out, I must point this out. Not only are you guys like musically talented, but you guys are, also very active in your community, and you guys actually adopted, why don't you tell it, a village in Uganda, I believe. So. Oh
yeah. So there's an actual orphanage in Uganda.
Uganda, okay. Thank you.
The orphanage in Uganda. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, cool. There's an orphanage in Uganda, and I was able to connect to one of their directors that's running the facility, and they have about 30 to 40 kids, children, in that orphanage in Uganda, and it's basically a religious-based organization. However, in Uganda, because of politics and leadership and all of that, these people are not able to get the proper funding that they need and that they really deserve from the governments. I don't even really know how the government is really set up over there like that, but they're not able to access the funding that they would like to feed these children in the orphanage. So we just simply connected with one of the directors there. His name is Kintu. We were able to, now I wouldn't say sponsor, but, we were able to give some assistance, to the children there in the orphanage, monetary, assistance. So we just, basically we sent them some money,
Nice,
and
nice.
it wasn't, wasn't a whole lot, any little bit helps. I mean, basically what we were able to send them, they were able to basically feed the children for like 3 or 4 days. So they really rely on assistance like that, and it's really legit. Because of course I had to get up there and do the research. You know what I'm saying? Because you'll find sometimes you'll get a lot of people hitting you up in your DMs asking you for this, that, and the third. So
they're not legit.
Yeah. So we were able to see that they were legit, and I personally spoke to the director on a number of occasions. We talking almost every day, so we were able to help out in that way. And in return, he called back, and he had the children in the background, and they were pretty much just saying how thankful and grateful they were and everything like that. And then they took a picture actually with a few of the children, and they had a big sign that says, "Thank you, Crank LuKongo, God bless you." And they sent us a picture with the children holding up that sign. And I think what we got from that was that blessings don't always come in the form of receiving. Blessing also can come in the form of giving. It's a blessing.
You better preach. You better preach, man.
It's a blessing to be in the position of giving. If you come to me and you say, "Hey, Swamp, can I borrow $20?" And no problem. I pull it out of my wallet. To me, it's a blessing to be able to even have it to give it. Because I haven't always been in that kind of shape. You know what I mean? So the blessing is not just with receiving, but the blessing is with giving as well. And that's one of the lessons that we learned. And so what we're asking all promoters right now is give. Hire Crank LuKongo and just give. Put as much money in the purse as you put.
You know what? Look. I like how you slid that in. That was genius.
Okay.
Yes.
Look, can I piggyback real quick on what Reverend Swamp was saying? It's the blessing is also in sort of using your gifts to forward another situation. So being able to give to these children, to this organization, is using the Crank LuKongo profile. And it's like we're not like worldwide or anything just yet, but notoriety is increasing. So with that example, and setting that example and having sort of followers on different social media platforms who can sort of follow suit and sort of be connected to these organizations also, which will help those organizations even more. So hats off to Swamp for following up with that and making that happen.
Awesome. And I hope that, my platform can also, expand listeners and bring awareness to your music and all that you do.
Really appreciate that.
Yeah. Well, guys, I could talk to you guys all day. I'm limited with time, but before I go, I just want to, let the listeners know that you guys also, pay tribute by honoring the late great, Mayor Marion Barry, as well as Petey Green. So some of you guys may have seen the movie. If not, read up on it. Petey Green wasn't always, he was a controversial, let's just say he was a controversial radio show host. But let me just say, controversial don't mean that you can't be great, because he ended up receiving 2 Emmy Award. So I just wanted to put that out there. And I want to thank you guys for, dropping all this knowledge. You guys are like a music history teacher. I love it.
Yeah, we've been kind of dubbed as the Go-Go Gil Scott. That's what the Gil Scott Heron. We've been kind of dubbed as that. Yes. So yeah, we get that a lot.
Yes. Yes. I can see that. Yeah. I can definitely see that. So listen, you guys make sure you come back. But before you go, I want you to tell the people, I tell my listeners out there where they can find your music and how they can connect with you and keep up with all that you do.
Well, you could, you can find us, you can go to our website at cranklukongo.com. That's CrankLukongo.com. That will link you to, all of the music, our media outlets that our album is being sold on and our singles as well. Or you can just go to any music media outlet and find us. We are in the process right now of strengthening our Bandcamp page as well. So if you go to Crank LuKongo Music .bandcamp, you'll not only find Crank LuKongo, but you'll see all of the other links. Like, for example, Dave has a record company, Charles Road, and he has that music from Charles Road and some other musical projects that he's been producing, Unswayed, Muscles and Jackbone, just to name a few. So you'll see those links on there as well, in addition to Crank LuKongo. We kind of operate as a team, and so we would invite you all to just take a listen and let us know what you think. So yeah, you can find us on Instagram, Crank LuKongo, Facebook, Twitter, all of that stuff. You can email us at cranklukongo@gmail.com. We also have hard copy CDs for all you old head CD listeners. We have those. So you can find us everywhere.
Perfect. Well, I want to thank you guys for hanging out with me today in the zone, and also continue success in bringing conscious and social awareness through music. So thank you again, guys,
for having us. And we'll hopefully we can do this again.
Yes, indeed. You're welcome. Okay.
Peace.
Peace.
This is Artasca, and you're in the Smiley J Artist Zone.
I got a feeling I wanna grab it. It's something I can't see. I gotta feel alive, but they won't let me have it. They just won't let me be. I see the plans are ready for the revolution. People prepare for victory. The war is over, no more confusion. All people will be free. Now I can feel safe in knowing my Father will make our way for His children. We are the lucky ones forevermore. Something we must overstand to make the most of life after the revolution. Oh, we gotta have a plan. If you know your history, you can build a nation the way we used to be. this revelation. One love, one identity. Yeah. Now I can feel safe in knowing my Father will make our way for His children. We are the lucky ones forevermore. We will be as one. Now I can feel safe in knowing my Father will make our way for His children. We are the lucky ones forevermore. We will be as one. Yeah, yeah. All right, yeah. All right, yeah. What you gonna do? What you gonna do? What you gonna do? When the revolution comes, baby. What you gonna do? What you gonna do? Yeah, babe. When the revolution comes, when the revolution, what you gonna do? When they come for you, you better change your view, adjust your attitude. And when it's said and done, yeah, I'm gonna live like one. Get together and have some fun underneath the sun. Yeah. What you gonna do, baby?
All right. I want to thank you guys for hanging out with me today. And I want to thank our special guest, Crank LuKongo. Be sure to follow them on social media and don't forget to download their song, After the Revolution, which, by the way, is one of my favorite. And I want to shout out all of my DC Go-Go bands. Too many to name, but I want to shout out all of you guys. Continue doing what you're doing, and we appreciate you. And I appreciate you, my listeners. Until next time, you guys be well, stay safe, and remember to listen to good music. Your ears will thank you for it. I'm Smiley J, and I'm out.